I've been craving a space where we drop the performance, skip the superficial, and make space for what's real. So I made it from scratch, and you're invited. Welcome to a Wild Night In. We need to talk about masculinity, but the problem is, I don't think we actually know how to do it.
A weak man or a lazy man says I love you, it means nothing.
But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity.
We ask, where are all the good men? But maybe the better question is, what made the ones we trust who they are? Like, who raised them, who softened them, and what did they have to unlearn? Because this isn't just about men. This is about how we relate, how we connect, and how we heal. And before you say not all men or decenter them, I'm tired too. And I was about to give up on this conversation. That is until I met Matthew Law. Maybe you've seen him on a TV series near you or in a thirst trap edit on your FYP, but to me, he's not only an incredible friend, he's the guy who reset my standard. As the world keeps asking, what does an evolved man even look like? I invited over the guy who clearly has the recipe. We're making his favorite spicy chocolate cookies and having the talk we all need to have. Tonight, we're diving deep, and I'll start by cutting right to the chase. You are the standard of the kind of man I will allow myself to be in a relationship with.
It's really one of the kindest things anybody's ever said to me. I'm humbled.
I really have the highest opinion of you as a human being, as a woman, as a person, as an artist. For you to say that to me, it means a lot. I'm happy to be here, and because I'm gonna make cookies.
We're making cookies and unpacking his childhood. And like most beginnings, we start with an egg.
I think anything good about me started from a woman. Anything good about me started with my mom.
Scientifically, yeah.
Scientifically and metaphysically, spiritually. I'm really bad at cracking an egg, so can you actually show me how you crack an egg right now?
This feels so symbolic. I'm sorry.
No, it's a lot of
I
pressure.
can visualize the comment section. Like,
Oh, okay.
very quickly strike it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna show it. All right.
Just, okay. And then like gently crack open the,
Like that?
yeah, split it in two.
Yep.
There you go. Man learns how to crack an egg. This is what generational healing looks like. I want to know, who did little Matt look up to, or what was his vision of what a man is supposed to be?
When you ask me what it's like to be a good man, I think about what does it mean to be strong, and that meaning that I saw what it means to be strong because of my mom. She is an example of strength that I've seen, and from my grandfather. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, my idea of what it meant to be a man, because my father left me when I was very young, mm-hmm. was superheroes and comic books and books. So it was a completely inhuman. Like Batman's a up like rich kid cop. But I thought it was cool to be super
standards,
stoic and mysterious, and I'll hide away all my don't look at my hurt. But all of those things have to do with, I think, that gave me a rock to stand on until that was disappeared underneath like this rising tide that is like, what does it mean to mature and evolve? Mm-hmm. Eventually I had to confront the fact that I had a complex. A
hero complex?
Yeah, of trying to always be good.
Always be beyond process.
I mean, it's suffocating, no? You know what I mean? The same way of like, you and I have talked for you about people who assume that you're gonna always not be outspoken or not say what's on your mind or not be the passionate individual that you are. Which is
very bizarre.
I just know in my own journey and with men that I've seen mm-hmm. who tuck something away that turns to it explodes.
That made me think, how many men are walking around on the verge of shattering? A little chaotic. Can you slow it down? Not because they're weak, but because they were never allowed to be whole. The vulnerability inside them doesn't disappear. It gets compressed, compartmentalized, until it breaks. Just like cookies. Too much heat, not enough space, and you lose the best part, the soft center. And that's exactly where I want to go next. Mm-hmm.
This is good for us?
Is it good for us? No, it's probably terrible. Probably feeding that parasite.
Damn.
Do you find it challenging to date given that there's so many traumatized women out there?
Oh my God, that is a Barbara Walters question.
I did not have this question planned. I just was thinking about it.
Is that the wrong reference? Oh. No. I think we're all traumatized. And that's not That's not me. That's not me copping out. A lot of abusive relationships. I've been in those.
No, but is it particularly frustrating for you being this evolved man?
Oh, I think even that
to show up and be like, oh, I already have my, there's already strikes against me.
Loneliness is real, like for sure. I've been lonely since I was a child, but I think the yearning for companionship and just like to be understood is a trap. Because now I've set myself up to be let down by anybody who enters the door, because that's a fully fledged human being. I don't know what any woman I meet is going through or what she's been through. To answer that question, I'm alarmed by how many, it's not just that they're traumatized, it's of what trauma they've had to suffer. How many women have I met who've been abused in like insane ways? 1 in 3 women have like gone through sexual abuse. And I think that the women I've met, women I've dated, who might have suffered some form of harassment or stalking or rape is insane. But before we've reached 30 cycles around that sun, this is all the you've been through. We all got scars, but like specifically to that question, I think it is, I would say how many men are inflicting abuse, like abuse. And I've been in an abusive relationship from women too, but I've never gone through some things that some of my ex-partners have been through, which is devastating to me, which makes me sad.
Yeah, it is.
And I mean, there's plenty of people who I think, once again, I think the chaos machine of our phones have driven us to wanting simple, easy answers quick. I think we heal together.
Has it ever cost you something being who you are?
Yeah, there's times where like, I think when I first went to college in Philadelphia, it was like, I wouldn't want to just like have sex with these random women. And so now, to your point about masculinity, like, oh, you a then? Says this girl, oh, you gay? From women. As if this is a thing. I'm like, no, I just don't have community.
I just don't want to spread my energy, okay?
Okay, I don't have community.
My body is a temple, okay?
Well, the way I dealt with that was not refined and elevated. That was me roasting these people.
What did you say?
Oh, like, why would I want any bargain bin, side of the road, Goodwill, tossed to the dogs, roast beef? Why would I want that in my diet? But I'm saying even that, why is it that now we've met each other in violent?
The problem with me, so now I have to make it a problem with you.
And it's also a qualification. It's always, what does it mean to be a real man? What does it mean to walk around like you're real? And then add all the different distinctions to that. What does it mean to be a real good man, real rich, real black man? The whole thing of like the ick.
Did I just give you the ick?
No.
Oh, you're human. Oh no.
Yeah, which is sort of
he
like.
has a butt crack. Oh.
So, what does this old girl say to me one time? She was like, the way you walk down the hill just gave me the ick. And I was like, what? What?
Wait, the way you walked?
The way gravity affected my body there. I was like, hey.
I'm sorry.
I'm for it.
What's she doing in the world now?
Well, I don't know. But like, I have a friend who's married, and I looked at like, I'm very inspired by the dynamics of like grace and patience and consideration and friendship that are at the basis of a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think like, not even just romantically, but if we're talking platonically, like the amount of space we give each other to have the
we have a lot of space.
But to have the ick for each other, you know what I'm saying?
2 only children. Hey, Matt, every 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We would be the best roommates. We'd like have a giant mansion and live on opposite sides of it.
Yeah, it'd be a mix.
Right, I'll send a dove in a letter. So how is it?
Yeah, we want to see each other for sure. I think I've been told who I am so much in my life when it's not the answer. I'm hearing somebody else's idea of what they've experienced, and now I'm the avatar for it. But
I'm assuming through dating.
Definitely. I think being soft is not the same as not being strong. And I think that there is strength in softness. I don't want to echo the weary, you know? I want to stand up. I don't want to surrender to any idea that I am less than in any way. And I think when you ask me like about what it means to be a good man, I think my mom, my grandma, my nana, you know, because my nana had always told me, I remember when we were walking on the sidewalk, she'd be like, you see, white people made us walk in the gutter when we walked by them. She was like, you're never going to be better than anybody else, but you're never any less than. You're just as good as anybody who walks, so you always stay on the curb. She's like, never walk in the gutter for anybody. And I think that that's that enoughness. When I see men who are like overly machismo or kind of overcompensating, I run into a lot of guys who want to fight me, and
it's
I usually
disbelief within that you are already enough.
Completely, it's a not enoughness. And most times, you know, I think guys who want to fight are 5 minutes away from crying.
Ooh.
That's always what it is. You know what I'm saying?
It's so true, even for me. Like, when I am my most angry, you can guarantee I'm gonna cry in the next 5 seconds. When I'm angry and I'm feeling like I have to step in that masculine energy, it's... the tears that come after is because I'm like, wow, I'm so sad that you brought me to this place where I have to respond in this way.
You're so sad that they brought you to a place where
I'm like, why would you hurt me like this?
Well,
to be honest, like, you hurt me and now I have to end you.
Which, I mean, you know, that in and of itself is sort of that suppressed rage, right? That you have a breaking point, and maybe, I won't speak for you, but it's like, now you got to see my bad side, sort of a thing. Whereas the idea of I'm only as high as my lowest vibration means like, how integrated are we? How
That's very true.
Between being assertive and being an asshole is like a very wide span, and that I can be assertive without being an asshole, like me being in my power. But
for me as a woman, it's funny that you made that the two ends, because for me it's like trying to find the between being subservient and nurturing and being assertive and being the
right,
or the
being a B word, right?
Yeah.
Because and that's something that I'll never know. But
there's a specific memory where a man who maybe you looked up to made you feel less than as a young boy because you were raised by a single mom.
For men in my life who were coaches or whatever, they constantly were asserting that you need me in your life. Here's how.
Yeah, to maintain that mentor position.
Sure, and I think that there is a hierarchical thing because of and that term patriarchy, of that phenomenon patriarchy, where it is that I'm going to show you why you belong here and I am.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
And I've had that with many older men in my life, whether it's people who, who are not comfortable when you have autonomy, even as a younger man.
All of the noise is just, like you said, it's divisive. It's a way to break connection. And for me, that's all I care about, is how do we connect? And so, like, I'm willing to look at the ways in which I'm looking at this incorrectly or from a guarded place. So that's why I was saying, do you think that there's something in my vision or the way that even I'm talking to you about it that needs...
I think we've been pushed into a paradox in a big way. And that paradox is I need you to know things. Like, you got to know that shit. What I feel that I've been blessed with is being curious.
That is the key, is that we get to a place where we're allowed to be human again. And we're allowed to be learning and in progress and picking up bell hooks and being like, today I learned that I was not as great as I could be. And that being completely okay, instead of feeling like you just need to arrive like an Amazon package. So many of us have been addicted to knowing as a form of false security and safety. Like, to be honest, you don't know if we're, I think you said this to me, floating on a fish's eyeball. We actually don't know anything.
Yeah. I think I've become very comfortable with saying I don't know. Which is hard, but I'm working on it. Morgan and Lynzi, you are a lover in a very, in a world with a lot of hate. I don't know if it's a hateful world, but it has a lot of hate in it. And my take is that maybe some of those spiky traps that you've stepped foot in, you were dancing through the forest and there were bear traps that just caught your ankle.
What is this a metaphor for?
I just think that maybe,
These are people.
yeah, I don't know. I think the way that you do culturally disrupt and the way that you do want to like poke, prod, unpack is because I think you are looking to clean some wounds.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
My like work is very chironic. It's very the wounded. I'm not saying that I'm a healer, but like the archetype of someone who I'm only in process and I'm doing it publicly.
You are, and I think you do that by lensing into a thing, and I appreciate you for being vulnerable enough because it does reflect back at you. I do know the way that you have to turn something over and over to know that it won't cut your hand. You know what I mean? That doesn't have a serrated edge on it, or that there's not a banana peel on the ground that you slip on. But yeah, this is brave, bold work, and you do it by baking a beautiful cookie. We need more beautiful cookies.
Would you like another cookie, by the way?
I will once I stand up.
Well, Matt, thank you for diving deep with me today. You know the thing that Matt reminded me of tonight is that being a man is not about a performance. It's about honoring yourself as a person and not just a label and seeing the same in everyone around you. Yeah, this was a wild night in.